Hello everybody, my name is Nathan. Welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 New Order as good old America. Let us continue on from where last left off. So, the election has just occurred. We are currently at a 62 to 36 split for the Senate. So we got 10 seats for the NPP. That's pretty good, all things considered. Memorandum, situation in South Africa. The question of a vacant monarchy in South Africa symbolizes the political tensions pulling the nation between the German Reich and the remainder of the free world. The upcoming referendum has inflamed these divisions, with the pro-German and Boer-led National Party, led by Albert Herzog, arguing to abolish the monarchy against the status quo United Party of Prime Minister de Villers Graaf. The reports of German weaponry flooding Bloemfontein with political violence escalated. See memorandum, assassination of B.J. Vorster. CIA assets reported widespread concern in Cape Town that the referendum is cover for a declaration of Boer independence. This would rob South Africa of much of its strategic depth and provide a pretext for German intervention in support of the new client state. Simultaneously, protests by the African National Congress, the ANC, against widespread discrimination continue to roll the nation. The movement continues to gather strength, despite the incarceration of much of the ANC's executive leadership, and moderates are increasingly being sidelined by militant radicals. The center, it seems, cannot hold much longer. Okay, so we can now aid the South Africans a little bit more, which is what we want to do. Not doing any special missions. Jewel. And then what are you? To ensure the light of liberty in the Dark Continent stays alive for the face of Nazi menace. Yes, we can just send him stuff. And these can't actually fail either. So yeah, we'll spend $30 million. That's fine. I love debt. We'll take all that on. We'll be happy for it as well. I don't care about lost production units. Lars' first registered thought of the day was that he had been thrilled when it would be over. His second thought was that he would have nothing to eat for breakfast, and so with that, Lars set out for the day. Living in the outskirts of Nuuk, Lars was always found difficulty getting into his work at the other edge of the city, and things were not getting easier. For as long as he can remember, American troops have been pouring into Greenland, and contrary to what one might think, this only made things more difficult for Lars' family. Houses along the coast, where Lars works, were snatched up by American families moving in, and the only place affordable to Lars' family was a 6-room hovel in the outskirts of the city. Lars normally wouldn't mind, had the walk not been constantly pockmarked by freezing beggars with lost hands and feet, not to mention the constant threat of snow and hail. Finally making his way to the docks, Lars lit up a cigarette and dressed up in an everyday garb of a fisherman, a haphazard amalgamation of borrowed turned bond coats, sewn together into one Frankenstein's monster of clothing, hanging over a mangy undershirt and suspenders that had long since lost the notion of cleanliness. His fishing vessel was close to finishing the last preparations for setting off to sea by the time Lars got there. And while most men had already been there for some time, they nonetheless welcomed Lars, late as he was. He was the only one among them who still lived with his parents so far from the dock, and none of the men minded the extra work. "Lars!" one of the men shouted. "Get your ass in here! Don't you want to be left behind?" Lars smiled and jogged down to the pier. It was only on the Atlantic that he felt safe, free from the bonds of Greenland, of America. As Nuuk grew fuzzy, fading in the distance, Lars was free. Somewhere above, the droning of a B-52 drew the attention of the crew. A little depressing for a day in the life. Good old... Where Nuuk is... right here. Hey, mission successful. This was in... Yeah, we're ruining Germany's operations in South America, which is good, because that should prevent them from doing some stuff in Colombia in the future, because the Civil War will break out a little bit more so. You know what? We'll do Operation SR Feast as well down in Africa. Just in case Germany wants to get some shenanigans going on in Boer country, we can see if we can maybe deny that from them. Maybe. I'm not going to guarantee it in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so is there anything we can do at the moment? Hold the White House meeting? Sure, why not? Let's get that going. So debt's lower. GDP is not where we want it to be quite yet. And the Supreme Court is still very conservative, which is fine, I think, for what we're doing. Coalition durable. It's waning at the moment. Again, I don't want to really necessarily destroy the RDC, even though it would be better for us, as we do want to go down the NPP route. I don't want to like completely shatter them, because I feel like that's going to make the campaign just a little bit less interesting. If it's not competitive, right? Catarus has been elected in Uruguay. These are Catalyst of the Colorado Party. Hero role, helping victims of 1958 floods. Okay, so it's like a big tent coalition? Well, they're conservative, so I mean, that's fine. They're an observer state. As long as they are relatively friendly to us, I couldn't care less. Okay, so the Queen of the Netherlands has died. But again, the Dutch don't exist here. There's like the Free Dutch, right? Is that a faction that exists? Suriname. Are you the remaining of the Dutch government? Yes, I believe Suriname is the like remnants here of the Dutch. Hey, got a new operative. We have like 100 expertise. I don't know really what we can spend this on right now. Oh, we can train a new agent. There we go. Problem solved. We have a decent amount. We have 4 in total. Is there anything else that we can do around the world? Oh, we can send arms to Madagon. That's right. I mean, sure. Why not? Madagon, you're currently fascist, but you could be our fascist. Okay, hey! Excellent. Operation is successful, so that should hopefully slow down the Germans in some respects. Operation PD Sertan. This is in Russia. What do we have here? Stabilize Iberia. Align Iberia towards Salazar. Align them towards Franco. Do we have anything here that supports Polish on the ground? I want to bolster... See, Serbia and Poland, I don't care that much about. I'm more looking for contested political power. Somewhat loyal. So let's see if we can boast support for President Lott here. I think we're good friends with that man. Intelligent analyst. $25 million. Don't need to worry about that too much. I would want to support the British if we're able to. I feel like that would be nice for us. Because again, Britain should have their civil war somewhat soon. Like, we have some areas here that are destabilized in Scotland and Cornwall as well. I would love a friendly Britain, right? Like, that makes sense. Jerusalem Conference. Polls have updated. Wait, is the election not over? I thought the election was finished. Or now it's actually finished. Okay. I could have sworn that we had this like last time, but I guess I'm wrong. I named the whole episode about the fact that the election was finished, but either way, I guess there's nothing else we could have done there anyways. We didn't have the choice. But, you know, 36 to 62, 17 progressive, 19 nationalist. Would have liked maybe an even split on nationalists to progressives in the Senate. Maybe that would have been a little bit better for us, but it's still okay. Top secret. Recent upheavals geopolitically have left the regime of Generalissimo Rafael Trujillo weak, and a abortive coup plot attained some momentum shortly after collapse of the triumvirate, but was ultimately crushed. While this coup failed, it indicates a shifted trend in Dominican politics. Another coup plot, particularly those that are more organized, seems likely. Furthermore, the nation's diplomatic standing remains isolated, barring the presence of Iberia. Efforts to improve relations with the nearby nations are unlikely, considering the regime has turned into a pariah state throughout the past decade. Several agents in the field have used their connections with loyal officials in a proportion to the Dominican Republic to uncover the failed coup. The response was a minor purge, which has concerned some officials. In Cuba, plans to aid the Caribbean Legion in replacing Trujillo was underway. Reattachment for information. Continued military presence from Dominican forces on the Haitian border suggests that foreign policy remains unchanged. It is imperative that we ensure that the regime governed by Trujillo is replaced. Most local opposition is broadly unified against Trujillo's sympathetic behavior to fascist and anti-American regimes in Europe and Latin America. Such opposition is also sympathetic to us or to Cuba or Mexico. In combating Trujillo, agents have been set over to provide aid to insurgents and organize them for the Legion's planned offensive. Agents are also currently organizing opposition within the Dominican military with some success. Okay. 100 manpower will be loaned for the sake of the proxy. Will be moved upon landing. I would love to do a coup in Dominica. Okay. Caribbean, what can we do at the moment? The answer is not much. Not much right now. Is it because we're doing the arms shipment, or is it? It's not South American. Operation failure. Excellent. We love to hate to see it. Okay. I have clicked the wrong button. I've actually clicked off of... Okay. We're good. We're good. Let's go with friends in the Philippines next. The President's Daily Brief. Mr. President, we believe the best way to curtail Japanese economic and military power is to draw them into a new and escalating conflicts. Get them bogged down in new jungle war, and they'll feel the pain. President Nixon nods carefully, considering his advisor's comments. All right, Bob, go on. One of McNamara's aides walks up to a pair of rolled-up maps. Each one bears a detailed map of Southeast Asia. Two of the large potential targets are Malaya and the Philippines. Malaya is riven by Japanese resource extraction, military regimes, and NATO collaborators. Meanwhile, the Philippines is a nation in a state of rebellion, and as we know well, and the population is believed to be very resentful of their occupiers. Both countries have active rebel groups, which we could use as proxies against Tokyo. Nixon presses his hands together in a gesture of contemplation, staring at the black and red markings that dot the map. Okay, Bob, what form would this proxy warfare be taking? McNamara's aides pull up more maps, more lists, and more explanations, and over the course of the morning, a bloody strategy to drive a new knife into the Japanese Empire takes form. Now, again, I don't know if their information's up to date. I mean, Malaya's already been freed, so I think we're fine on that one. Okay, so we have global conflicts. Okay, I was in the wrong tab. That makes sense. Okay, so Dominica, 43 days till they land. Infiltrate. How much? We have 89 command power right now. Invasion's minimum supply is 20. Caribbean Legion is currently equipped with 2 brigades. Employing over 5 will drain supplies faster after the landing. Current operational strength is 15 out of 100. Supply is 80 out of 100. Minimum supply is 20. Okay. Organize dissidents. Establish sleeper cells. I have so much political power too. Receive air support. May increase tension with future Dominican governments. Prepare U.S. naval support. May increase tensions with the future Dominican government. Organize supplies. We'll take you. I don't need to spend this. That's fine. We'll be stronger during the first week of the invasion. Organize airdrops, logistical aid after the invasions. Ignore you for now. Cuban battalion development. Minimum supply will increase by 25. Get both of those. Minimum supply is 20. I will do anything I can to support these men. What about you guys? Minimum supply will increase by 15. Right now we're at 90. So we need 7. So we can't do any of these right now, I think. 15 would get us up to... I mean, it'd get up to 85. I would love an armor division, though, as well. But we'll look at that in just a moment. Oh, we have unassigned divisions. Okay. I guess we'll start up a new army under a new field marshal. And for now, I guess you go on the border with Canada. Can't trust those Canucks. The helping hand. You know, had you told me 6 years ago that someday I'd be sitting in a nice, luxurious villa discussing an invasion with a person I put behind bars myself, I would have half believed you, Fidel. Fernando Giretes joked while he stretched out of his chair. He dressed more like an exaggerated American tourist than as the second in command of Mexico's feared DFS. He even had him a small glass of rum with one hand and a fan in the other. Ah, but I'm a man you put behind bars and then let go. So I had told you the full context. You wouldn't have doubted me. Fidel Castro, similarly dressed, marking differently than his usual olive drab fatigues, though smoking his usual cigar. He looked off into a warm sunset which painted the sky a gentle pink. It was in that same direction that his dream as a student now lay again. The overthrow of the fascist Trujillo. Besides, we aren't talking about an invasion because technically Cuba isn't invading anyone at all. Cuban soldiers aren't landing in the Dominican Republic. It just so happens that some of the men are employed in the Cuban army that will go of their own free will. Well, still, Cuban soldiers on foreign soil sounds like a handful. Aren't you worried you'll get half the Caribbean into a panic? Some people might be worried that you're going to topple all of the... Dritz has cleared his throat for dramatic effect. Oh, the so respectful leaders of the region. Please. Every newspaper will be focused on the Americans. Nobody will even bother us with what they can spit on them. It'll answer before taking a puff of his cigar. Let's just hope the gringos don't try and throw you under the bus as things go badly. I'm sorry we couldn't be the ones helping well, but right now our men are needed at home. Jetres looks dismayed at it all. Done enough for me already, Fernando. Just pray for my men. That'll be more than enough. Jetres scoffed, and Fidel returned to his cigar. Okay, well, I appreciate 10 command experience. Got a coup d'etat. I would love you. Intelligence strength is still a little bit low. Okay, so Bulgaria, or not Bulgaria. Burgundy has the nuke. Probably, like, not great, honestly. Our supply is 90. I would like more supply, please. Let's prepare naval support. I don't need the command power. I need more supplies. Yes, organize supplies here. Get us up to 100. Then prepare an armor division, please. And this is good. 100 out of 100. We have 5 brigades. Employing over 5 brigades would drain supplies faster after landing. I mean, it seems fine. I have more than enough supplies to provide you with anything you could possibly need. Yankee Stadium. Stadium most known for hosting the legendary New York Yankees baseball club, became the site of the ultimate football conclusion. The NFL championship game, its 30th edition, pitted the Green Bay Packers against the New York Giants in a brutal 60-minute slugfest. The weather on field registered at 17 degrees Fahrenheit, negative 8 degrees Celsius, with 35 to 40 mile per hour winds, one of the coldest sport events ever played. The Green Bay Packers, led by legendary Hall of Fame coach Vince Lombardi and University of Alabama quarterback Bart Starr, faced a stalwart New York defense led by middle linebacker Sam Huff and defensive end Andy Rubistelli. NBC broadcasted the widely anticipated game across the United States. Packers started out strong, scoring their first 10 points unopposed in the first half of the game. The Giants came back with a touchdown, but the team would never match its opponent's point total. Packers would win the champion to a total of 16-7 after kicking 2 more field goals. Most valuable player of the game was Ray Nitschke, a Packer middle linebacker who recorded 2 fumbles and a pass deflection for the Green Bay defense. I don't know anything about football. I'm assuming that's okay. Operational strength still at 18. I would love to get us a little bit higher. 750 more guns. Take it. Take all the guns you could possibly want. Okay, more rifles for moi. Foreign policy decisions. This is for you. Again, I can't really deploy more units, at least not for the time being. And also, people are saying that helicopter divisions are really, really good. So let's start trying to get some of those guys in here. Are they infantry? Mobile. APC. Armor, main battle tank, super heavy tank. Do we have helicopters? Are those researched? Are we actually building any? Production. We have improved transport helicopter. And we do have the attack helicopter. Our needs are fulfilled for now. What are they being used in? Is there a way for me to actually tell? Is it something that you think I would know at this point in my life? Also, you get a general here. Cobra. I'm getting 0.4 per day. I don't know what you're in. Is it a support battalion? Attack helicopter company. Medevac company, signal company, support artillery. So one of you presumably has the attack helicopter. Medevac. Support. Yeah, you need to transport helicopters. Okay, so they're being used right now for the paratroopers, or for the elite infantry, the airborne division here. And we have 2 of those guys. Okay, so let's see. If I were to throw in the attack helicopters, theoretically, how expensive would that be? We would have enough for this. Excellent. What if we were to throw in heli supply company? If I throw in the medevac, how expensive are those? Oh no, we're fine. Okay, save those bad boys up. Now we don't have a ton of them. And other than that, they're like not great division. People were telling me that they're pretty good for using them to support other countries. So I will say, sounds good to me. Sounds grand to me. Okay, 21 out of 100. Give me more agents, please. And Alabama's champion. A smoldering cigar lay on the edge of a littered desk. Behind it, Alabama's governor, George Clory Wallace, 43, seemed charged with electric intensity. His eyes, burning like coals, were dark, deep, and eyebrowed with his black bands. His voice, Grace noted with a southern drawl. I deplore violence, said Wallace. But who started all this violence? There's a lot of agitators and communists mixed up with those who want good. A bunch of sissy britches poop-pooing from their ivory towers. He reached for the cigar. I don't believe just that somebody somewhere has a grievance that you should ignore the fabric of the Constitution. Wallace stood up. If they do, he said, they will risk a lot more than they realize. Wallace is no ordinary Alabama redneck, a smart, capable lawyer who has in many ways been the first-rate governor. Since he took office 4 years ago, he has raised teacher salaries, overseen a swath of school construction, and lobbied for a massive infusion of federal funds to finish the spur of the Tennessee Valley Authority. Once pathetically barren, the northern tier of Alabama now flourishes with cheap public power and the mushrooming of federally financed space-age industries. But on the question of civil rights, Wallace is a different man. When running for governor on the Progressive PAC's ballot line, Wallace was no diehard defender of segregation. His near defeat at the hands of Democrat John Patterson taught him the risk of being outsegged, walking a fine line. Wallace has marched separately from the law of the land. He is at once a staunch defender of the South, a new Southern moderate, and even a nominal ally of organized labor. As rumors swirl around the possible candidates in 1964, Wallace is a name no one is discounting. Term limited, the governor has already announced his intention for his wife to succeed him, a race with the foregone conclusion, and was waved off a Senate draft. When asked about future ambition, the governor smiled. We'll see where I'll be. Times Magazine, October 27th, 1962. Natives voters will increase turnout in the next election. But I will say, at least right now, it's going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So if you enjoyed it, thumbs up. Not enjoying it, thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.